Christmas morning, cinnamon rolls burning in the oven, divorce papers on the counter, and a 7-month pregnant woman watching her entire life collapse in under 3 minutes. That's how Caroline Matthews' fairy tale ended. On the one day that's supposed to be about family and love, her millionaire husband didn't just leave her. He destroyed her. Publicly, cruelly, on Instagram, for the whole world to see. But here's what Vincent Ashford didn't know. While he was playing millionaire with his 28-year-old influencer girlfriend, while his mother was threatening to destroy everything Caroline loved, while he was calling his pregnant wife dead weight, someone was watching, someone powerful, someone who'd been waiting 32 years for exactly this moment. The street corner Santa ringing a bell outside a homeless shelter? Not who he appeared to be, not even close. And when Caroline discovered the truth, when she learned who was really behind that white beard and red suit, everything changed. This is a story about betrayal, about secrets, about a woman who lost everything on Christmas morning and discovered she'd actually gained something far more valuable, a family, a father, and a kind of justice that money can't buy. But a billionaire can definitely arrange. So if you've ever felt discarded, if you've ever been called dead weight, if you've ever wondered what happens when the underdog finally gets their moment, stay with me. Because what happens next, you won't believe it. But every word is exactly how it unfolded. This is the story of how Santa saved Christmas, 8 months late, in the most unexpected way possible. Let's begin. The divorce papers landed on the kitchen counter between the cinnamon rolls and her prenatal vitamins. Caroline Matthews stared at the manila envelope. 7 months pregnant. Christmas morning. The smell of cinnamon and butter filling their penthouse kitchen. She'd woken up at 5 a.m. to make Vincent's favorite breakfast, arranged his gifts under their 12-foot designer tree, wore the emerald maternity dress he'd bought her last month. He'd said green was his favorite color on her. The timer beeped. The cinnamon rolls. She'd been making them when he walked in. Vincent stood by the counter. No Santa hat, no smile, just expensive pajamas and that look, the one he got during business calls. Cold. Calculated, distant. "What is this?" Caroline's voice came out small. She hated how small it sounded. "Exactly what it looks like." Vincent poured himself coffee. Black, 2 sugars, the way he always took it. "I need you to sign these. I want to be out of this marriage by New Year's." The cinnamon rolls started to burn. Caroline could smell it. That acrid edge creeping into the sweetness. She didn't move. Couldn't move. "Vincent, it's Christmas Day. And time doesn't stop for sentiment, Caroline. That's always been your problem. Too emotional." She looked at him. Really looked at him. This man she'd loved for 4 years, married for 2, the father of her unborn daughter. When had his eyes gotten so cold? Or had they always been that way? "Who is she?" Vincent set down his coffee mug, precise, controlled. "Does it matter? I'm carrying your child. My attorney will discuss child support. Sign the papers. Make this easy." He walked toward the door, not the bedroom, the front door. Carolyn's brain struggled to catch up. He was leaving. On Christmas morning, after dropping divorce papers on the counter like junk mail. "Where are you going?" "Out. I'll be back later for my things." "You have 72 hours to vacate the premises." Vacate, like she was a tenant, not his wife, not the mother of his child. "Vincent, wait. We need to talk about this. We can go to counseling. We can—" There's nothing to talk about. The marriage was a mistake. The baby wasn't planned. "You've become boring. I've found someone more suitable. Sign the papers." The smoke alarm started shrieking. The cinnamon rolls were burning. Black smoke poured from the oven. Caroline stood frozen. The alarm screamed and screamed. Vincent grabbed his keys. "Jesus Christ, Caroline. Can't you even make breakfast without creating drama?" He left. The door clicked shut. Quiet. Final. Caroline stood alone in their kitchen. His kitchen now. The smoke alarm still shrieking. The cinnamon rolls burning. Her hand moved to her belly. 7 months. A girl. They'd found out 2 weeks ago. She'd planned to give him the pink onesie with Daddy's girl on it today. It was still wrapped. Under the tree, Next to the watch she'd saved 3 months to buy him. Her phone buzzed on the counter, a text, but not from Vincent's number, from an unknown number. No, not unknown. She recognized those digits, Vincent's personal phone, the one he kept locked. Except this wasn't from him. The photo loaded slowly. Caroline watched it appear line by line, like watching a car crash in slow motion. A woman, blonde, beautiful, young, very young. Amber Thornton. Caroline knew who she was. Everyone knew who she was. Social media influencer, 300,000 followers, 28 years old, not pregnant, not boring, not 7 months along and swollen and exhausted. Amber stood in front of Vincent's car, his BMW, the one Caroline had co-seen it for because his credit was bad. Why was his credit bad? She'd never asked. Trusted him. The caption read, "Best Christmas gift ever. Blessed at new beginnings. Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete." Caroline's water broke. No, wait, just her coffee mug. It slipped from her hand, shattered on the marble floor, brown liquid spreading, glass everywhere. Just like her life, she sank to the floor. Careful, slow, 7 months pregnant. Can't move too fast. The baby kicked. Right under her ribs. Hard. Like she was angry too. Carolyn pulled out her phone, opened Vincent's contact, stared at his name. Her thumb hovered over the call button. She should call him, demand answers, fight for her marriage. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? She closed the contact, opened it again. Closed it, opened it. Her thumb wouldn't press the button. Couldn't press it. What would she even say? Closed it, opened it, closed it. The smoke alarm finally stopped. The sudden silence was worse than the noise. Carolyn sat on the kitchen floor, broken glass around her, burnt cinnamon smell in the air. Christmas morning, alone, pregnant, about to be homeless. She started to laugh. It came out wrong. Broken, like the coffee mug, like her marriage, like everything. The baby kicked again. Caroline put both hands on her belly. "It's okay," she whispered. "We're okay. We'll be okay." She was lying to herself, to her daughter. But what else could she do? Caroline called Grace from the bathroom floor. She crawled there after the kitchen, away from the glass, away from the burnt smell, away from everything. Grace answered on the second ring. "Merry Christmas. I'm just heading to—" "Caroline, what's wrong?" "He's leaving me." The words came out flat, empty. "Vincent, he gave me divorce papers. This morning. Christmas morning. I'm on my way. You don't have to. I'm already in my 20 minutes. Grace made it in 18, still in her nursing scrubs from the night shift. Hair in a messy bun, no makeup. She took one look at Caroline and wrapped her in a hug. That absolute piece of garbage. Caroline started crying, really crying. The kind that hurts your chest. The kind that makes you hiccup. Grace held her, didn't say anything. Just held her. When the crying finally stopped, Grace pulled back. "Okay, show me the papers." They sat at the kitchen table. The same table where Caroline had set out Vincent's breakfast. The cinnamon rolls were still in the oven. Charcoal now. Grace read through the divorce papers. Her jaw got tighter with each page. "Caroline, these aren't divorce papers. These are extortion." "What?" Grace spread the pages out. "Look, you get nothing. The prenup protects all his assets. You have 3 days to vacate. Child support is capped at state minimum. No alimony even though you left your career to support his. You're liable for half the penthouse expenses through the lease term. And you have to sign an NDA about your marriage. How is this legal?" "It's not, but he's counting on you being too scared to fight." Carolyn looked at the papers. The legal language swam in front of her eyes. She'd signed a prenup 2 years ago, right before the wedding. Vincent said it was standard, his lawyer insisted. She'd been so in love, so sure they'd be together forever. She'd signed without reading it carefully. "I can't afford a lawyer. We'll figure it out. First we pack." They moved through the apartment systematically. Grace was good at this, clinical, like surgery. Caroline's hands shook as she folded clothes, maternity jeans, Oversized sweaters. Nothing fit right anymore. Her body was a stranger. In the bedroom closet, Caroline found a box, pushed to the back, behind Vincent's suits. Not her box. She pulled it out. Woman's shoes. Designer. Size 6. Caroline wore 7.5. Tag still attached. The receipt was tucked in the tissue paper. 3 months ago, right after Caroline entered her second trimester, right when the morning sickness finally stopped. Grace, her voice cracked. The affair isn't new. Grace looked at the shoes, at the receipt. No, it's not. Carolyn sat on the bed, their bed, the bed where they'd made this baby, where Vincent used to pull her close in the morning. When did he stop doing that? 2 months ago? 3? She'd been so tired, so focused on the pregnancy. She hadn't noticed him pulling away, or maybe she had noticed, and chose to ignore it. I left my job for him. The words tumbled out. My apartment. My savings went into this penthouse deposit because his credit was bad. Grace? Why was his credit bad? He's a millionaire. Why would a millionaire have bad credit? Grace's eyes narrowed. Where's his office? Down the hall, but we're not allowed. He just served you divorce papers on Christmas morning. I think we're past allowed. Vincent's office was locked. Grace found a letter opener in the kitchen, picked the lock in 30 seconds. Hospital security training, she explained. You'd be amazed what people lock up. The office was immaculate. Leather chairs, mahogany desk, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Carolyn had only been in here twice. Both times Vincent had gotten angry. Told her his business required privacy. She'd respected by that. Respected him. What a joke. Grace went straight for the filing cabinet. Also locked. She picked that too. Started pulling files. Caroline, look at this. Rejection letters. Dozens of them. From investors, from banks, from venture capital firms. All dated within the last 18 months. Credit card statements. All maxed out. Loan denials, personal loans, business loans, all denied. The successful tech entrepreneur is hemorrhaging money, Grace said quietly. Carolyn picked up another file. Bank statements. The accounts were almost empty. Everything was late. The car payment, the penthouse rent, not mortgage. They didn't own this place. He's broke. Worse than broke. He's in massive debt. The affair made sense now. Terrible, cruel sense. Amber Thornton, social media influencer. 300,000 followers. The perfect advertisement for a man pretending to be wealthy. And her father. Carolyn remembered something from Amber's Instagram. Her father sat on investment boards. Multiple boards. Vincent wasn't leaving her for love. He was leaving her for a business opportunity. Caroline's hands found a letter, different from the others. Personal stationery. Expensive. She recognized the handwriting. Evelyn Ashford, Vincent's mother, dated 2 weeks ago. Vincent, I warned you about marrying beneath your station. Now you're trapped with a pregnant nobody, but I've found you a solution. Amber's father is on the board at Wellington Capital. He's very interested in your pitch, but the optics of a pregnant wife are problematic. Handle it, quickly, before she gives birth and complicates everything further. I'll support whatever you decide. We take care of our own, even when they make mistakes. Carolyn read it twice. 3 times, the words didn't change. His mother knew, approved, possibly orchestrated this. I'm not even a person to them, Carolyn whispered. I'm just a problem to handle. Grace took the letter, read it. Her face went white, then red. We're keeping this, all of it, every shred of evidence. Why, what good will it do? Because you're going to fight him, and you're going to win. Carolyn wanted to believe that. She really did. But sitting in Vincent's office, surrounded by evidence of his lies, holding proof of his mother's cruelty, 7 months pregnant and about to be homeless, she couldn't see how winning was even possible. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Hello? Ms. Matthews? This is Richard Sterling from Sterling and Associates. I represent your biological father. He'd like to meet with you. Today, if possible. I know it's Christmas, but he's quite insistent. Says it's urgent. Carolyn's brain stuttered. I'm sorry, what? Your father, Nicholas Sterling, he'd like to meet with you. My father's dead. He died before I was born. Silence on the other end. Then, no, ma'am, he's very much alive. And he's been looking for you for 32 years. Carolyn sat in Vincent's chair, the expensive leather one. She'd been sitting there for 10 minutes, staring at her phone, at Richard Sterling's number. Grace had gone to make tea, or maybe coffee. Caroline couldn't remember. Her father was alive. Not possible. Her mother had told her, shown her the death certificate, a car accident before Caroline was born. Her whole life built on that story. The fatherless daughter, the single mother who worked 3 jobs, the man who never got to meet his baby girl, all a lie. The doorbell rang. Caroline jumped. Grace appeared from the kitchen. I'll get it. Don't. Vincent might. Vincent can go to hell. Grace opened the door. Caroline heard a woman's voice. Familiar. Cold. Oh no. Evelyn Ashford swept into the apartment like she owned it. Maybe she did. Maybe Vincent's mother owned everything. She'd certainly acted that way for 2 years. Evelyn had never visited before. Always summoned them to her estate in Greenwich. Made them drive the 2 hours. Never came to the city. Too common, she'd said. But here she was, in a cream cashmere coat, pearls, perfect hair, surveying Caroline's half-packed belongings like a health inspector examining a dirty restaurant. Good. You're being reasonable. Caroline stood, slowly, 7 months pregnant. Everything took effort. What are you doing here? Ensuring compliance. Vincent said you'd be difficult. I assured him you'd see reason. Grace stepped between them. Mrs. Ashford, you need to leave. Evelyn smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. Never did. And you are? Her best friend and a witness. So choose your next words carefully. How colorful. Evelyn turned back to Caroline. You received the papers. You understand the terms. Sign them. Move out. Make this painless. Painless? Caroline's voice cracked. Your son served me divorce papers on Christmas morning, while I'm pregnant with his child. Nothing about this is painless. Don't be dramatic. Women have babies alone all the time. You'll survive. The casual cruelty took Caroline's breath away. This woman, her baby's grandmother, acting like a pregnancy was an inconvenience, like Caroline was an inconvenience. You knew. Caroline held up the letter, the one from Vincent's office. You knew he was going to do this. You suggested it. Evelyn's smile tightened. I provided guidance, as a mother should. Vincent made an error in judgment 2 years ago, a moment of weakness. I'm simply helping him correct it. An error? Our marriage is an error. Yes, you were never appropriate for this family. I told Vincent from the start, but he was stubborn. Said you were different, genuine, boring is what you are. Common. Grace took a step forward. Get out, now. Evelyn ignored her, kept her eyes on Caroline. Let me explain reality, dear. My family has connections at every law firm in this city, every judge, every gallery, and museum where you might seek employment. You'll never work in your field again. You'll never find proper representation. You will spend your pregnancy in court battles you cannot win, spending money you don't have, fighting people who destroy threats as a hobby. Caroline's hand moved to her belly, protective, automatic. The baby kicked, like she could sense the danger. Memory hit Caroline suddenly, sharp, clear, her first dinner with the Ashfords. 2 years ago, right after she and Vincent got engaged. Evelyn had corrected her, constantly. We use the salad fork first, dear. That dress is very bold for your figure. And your father does what exactly? Oh, I see. How difficult that must have been for your mother. Carolyn had thought it was a test, hazing. If she just proved herself worthy enough, Evelyn would accept her. She tried so hard, changed how she dressed, how she spoke, how she moved through their world. It was never enough, would never be enough. Because Caroline's sin wasn't her manners or her clothes. It was existing. Or, Evelyn continued, her voice pleasant, like discussing the weather, you sign Vincent's papers. Take the child support. Fade quietly into wherever people like you fade to. And maybe I won't destroy your mother's catering business. The threat landed like a punch. What? Margaret Matthews Catering, lovely little company. Your mother worked so hard to build it. Would be a shame if all her clients suddenly canceled, if the health department found violations, if her suppliers refused to work with her. These things happen in business. Unfortunate, but inevitable when one makes enemies of the wrong people. Carolyn couldn't breathe. Her mother, the woman who'd worked 3 jobs to raise her alone, who'd put herself through culinary school one-night class at a time, who'd finally built something of her own. Evelyn would destroy it, just to hurt Caroline. "You'd destroy an innocent woman's business? Your son is divorcing me. What more do you want?" "I want you erased, completely, as if this unfortunate chapter never happened. Vincent will marry appropriately, someone from our world. Amber is delightful, perfect breeding, perfect connections. Their children will be beautiful. I'm carrying his child. A complication, but not insurmountable. Child support can be arranged through intermediaries. You'll fade from our lives. The baby will never know our family. Cleaner that way." Evelyn's perfume filled the room. Expensive, French, suffocating. Carolyn had bought the same perfume once, thought it would make Evelyn like her. It had cost $300. A week's salary from the museum job she'd quit to support Vincent's career. Evelyn had laughed when she noticed. "Oh, darling, that scent requires a certain bearing to wear properly. Perhaps try something more suited to your budget." "Get out." Caroline's voice was steady now. Calm. "Get out of this apartment. I'm trying to help you understand. I understand perfectly. You're a cruel woman who raised a cruel son, and I will not let you control my life or my daughter's life. Get out." Evelyn's mask slipped, just for a second. Caroline saw real anger there. "You're making a mistake. I could help you. I could make this easy." "Easy? Nothing about you is easy. You're a bully, and I'm done being bullied. You'll regret this." "I already regret plenty. Mostly meeting your son. Now leave." Evelyn left. Finally, her heels clicked across the marble floor. The door closed with a soft thud, the expensive kind that seals quietly. Nothing cheap about this building. Nothing Caroline could afford anymore. Grace locked the door, then put the chain on, then dragged a chair over. "She's not getting back in." Caroline sank onto the couch. Her whole body was shaking. "She'll destroy my mother's business." "Maybe, maybe not, but we'll fight her." "With what?" "I have $8,000 in savings." "Maybe, that's it. That's everything I have left." Grace sat beside her. "Then we find help, real help. What about that phone call? The lawyer, your father?" "My father's dead." "Except he's not. Call him back. What's the harm?" Carolyn looked at her phone. Richard Sterling's number stared back at her, her father. Alive. Wanting to meet her. On Christmas Day. The same day her husband destroyed her life. Coincidence? Or something else? She dialed before she could talk herself out of it. Richard Sterling answered immediately. "Miss Matthews, thank you for calling back." "Why now? Why today?" "Your father has been monitoring your situation. He has resources, connections. He wants to help." "Monitoring my situation? That's creepy." "Perhaps, but right now you need allies. And my firm specializes in cases exactly like yours. Prenuptial fraud, coerced agreements, financial manipulation. I can't afford you. Your father is paying, consider it 32 years of back child support." Carolyn laughed. It came out bitter. "I don't even know if he's really my father. My mother said he was dead." "Your mother had her reasons. Good reasons. But circumstances have changed. You're in danger. Your daughter is in a danger. Nicholas can protect you, if you'll let him." "Where is he?" "St. Michael's Shelter, downtown. He's there every Christmas. Volunteering. He asked if you'd meet him there. This afternoon, 2 o'clock. A homeless shelter. Her billionaire father was at a homeless shelter on Christmas Day. Nothing made sense anymore. "I'll be there," Carolyn heard herself say. "Excellent. He's looking forward to meeting you." Finally. Carolyn hung up, looked at Grace. "My dead father wants to meet me at a homeless shelter. In 2 hours." "Well," Grace said slowly, "this is already the worst Christmas ever. How much worse can it get? Caroline didn't answer, but she was about to find out. Caroline sat in her car outside St. Michael's shelter. She'd been sitting there for 15 minutes. Couldn't make herself get out. The building was old, red brick, Christmas lights strung along the roof. People streamed in and out. Families, elderly men, young women not much younger than Caroline. A man dressed as Santa stood by the entrance. Not department store Santa, street corner Santa. Worn red suit, real bell, actual donation bucket. His beard looked real, white, full. She could see it even from here. He was ringing the bell, greeting people, smiling, the kind of smile that reached his eyes. Caroline watched him for a long moment. Something about him seemed familiar. The way he moved, the tilt of his head, his eyes were blue. Even from the car, she could see that. Blue like hers. No, impossible. Her phone buzzed. Her mother. Third call in an hour. Caroline had ignored the first two. She answered this one. Caroline, what's wrong? You never call this many times. Mom? Caroline's throat closed. My father, you said he died. Silence, long enough that Caroline checked to see if the call had dropped. Who told you? Her mother's voice was careful. Too careful. Is he alive? Baby, I need you to listen. Is he alive? Another pause, then, yes. The word detonated. Caroline's entire history rewrote itself in that single syllable. Every story, every memory, every moment she'd imagined a father who never got to meet her. All lies. Why, hey? The question came out raw. Why would you lie about that? To protect you from him, from his world, from choices I made when I was young and scared and alone. You weren't alone. He was alive. Where was he? Caroline, where are you? At a homeless shelter, apparently meeting my dead father. No, her mother's voice went sharp. Don't. Please don't do this today. Let me explain first. Caroline hung up. She was done with explanations, done with lies, done with everyone controlling her life. She got out of the car, 7 months pregnant. Everything hurt. Her back, her feet, her heart. She walked toward the shelter, toward the man in the Santa suit. He saw her when she was still 20 feet away, stopped ringing the bell, just stood there, watching her approach. His eyes never left her face. Up close, she saw it, really saw it. The cheekbones, the eye color, the shape of his jaw, like looking in a mirror. A mirror showing her 40 years in the future. Caroline? It wasn't a question. He knew. Had been waiting. How long had he been waiting? She nodded, couldn't speak. Her throat was too tight. I'm Nicholas, your father. He paused, seemed to struggle with the next words. And before you run, I understand. I deserve that. But please, give me 30 minutes. That's all I ask. Carolyn looked at him. This stranger. This man who shared her DNA. Who her mother had erased from existence. Why today? Why now? Because I knew. Somehow I knew today would be the day you'd need me. He led her inside, through the main hall where volunteers served Christmas dinner. The smell of turkey and stuffing filled the air. Families sat at long tables. Children laughed. For a moment, Carolyn forgot about the disaster her life had become. Nicholas opened a door marked Director. A small office, neat, simple, 2 chairs, a desk with papers scattered across it. He gestured to a chair. Carolyn sat, carefully, 7 months pregnant. Every movement required calculation. Nicholas removed the Santa beard. Underneath, distinguished features. Expensive watch, hidden under red velvet sleeves. Custom shoes beneath boot covers. This was no street corner Santa. This was someone playing a role. Why the costume? I volunteer here Thursdays through Christmas. Have for 20 years. He sat across from her. Today I asked to work Christmas Day specifically. Because I knew, the way a father knows, that today you'd need help. How did you know about Vincent? Nicholas didn't answer directly. Instead, he pulled a folder from his desk drawer. Thick, professional, the kind lawyers use. He slid it across to her. Open it. Carolyn did. Investigation reports, financial documents. Vincent Ashford's entire life, dissected and laid bare. Bank statements, credit reports, text message logs, Photos of Vincent with Amber Thornton dated back 6 months. Not three, 6. Your husband is bankrupt, has been for 18 months. The penthouse is rented on a month-to-month basis. He's 3 months behind. The car is leased. The watch he wears is counterfeit. Good counterfeit, but fake nonetheless. Carolyn flipped through pages. Everything confirmed. Everything documented. How did you get this? I have resources. When you announced your pregnancy on social media 6 months ago, I hired investigators. I wanted to ensure you were safe, happy, cared for. What I found instead was a con artist who targeted you specifically. Targeted me? Nicholas leaned forward. You had a stable career, good credit, a mother with a successful small business. You were exactly what Vincent needed. A woman who could co-sign loans, open joint credit cards, provide legitimacy while he played millionaire entrepreneur. The words hit like physical blows. He married me for my credit score? He married you because you were useful. The pregnancy was an accident, one that complicated his plans, so he found a better option. Amber Thornton, the influencer, whose father sits on 3 major investment boards. Vincent needs capital. Amber provides access. You became obsolete. Carolyn closed the folder, couldn't look anymore. Why are you telling me this? Because you're about to fight him in court. And you need to know what you're really fighting. You're not fighting a millionaire. You're fighting a desperate con artist who will do anything to maintain his facade. Those are the most dangerous kind. His mother threatened to destroy my mom's business. Nicholas's expression hardened. Evelyn Ashford, old money, new debts. Her family is bleeding capital. She needs Vincent to marry well. To marry rich. Your mother's business is small enough to hurt, large enough to matter to you. Classic pressure tactic. Can she really do it? She can try, but your mother has allies too. Allies she doesn't know about yet. Caroline looked at this man, her father, a stranger who somehow knew everything about her life. Why didn't you come find me before? 29 years. You could have found me anytime. Nicholas's face crumpled. For just a moment, the distinguished billionaire disappeared. What remained was an old man carrying decades of regret. Because your mother was right to make me stay away. Nicholas stood, walked to the window. Outside, Caroline could see families entering the shelter. Volunteers serving food, life continuing while hers fell apart. I met your mother when I was 22, Nicholas said quietly. Margaret was 26. She was putting herself through culinary school, working 3 jobs. I was doing tech support during the day, coding at night, dreaming about startups and changing the world. We met at a coffee shop. She ordered something complicated. I made a joke about it. She laughed. That laugh, I was gone. Carolyn watched him, this man who was her father, hearing her own origin story for the first time. The true version. We dated for 8 months. It was intense, bang, the kind of love you feel at 22 when everything seems possible. Then she got pregnant. With me. With you. Nicholas turned from the window. I panicked. I was 22, broke, living in a studio apartment with 2 roommates. I had this idea for a startup, cloud computing infrastructure. Revolutionary at the time, investors were interested, but they wanted full commitment, no distractions. I was a distraction. You were a responsibility I wasn't ready for. I told Margaret I needed to make something of myself first, become worthy, successful. Then I'd come back. We'd be a family. I'd be a father you could be proud of. And she let you go? She told me to leave, said if I couldn't commit now during the hard part, I had no business being a father during the easy parts. She was right. Nicholas sat back down. I left, moved to Silicon Valley, threw myself into the startup. I told myself I was doing it for you, for Margaret, building something so I could come back and provide, give you everything. But you didn't come back. Not for 3 years. By then, Sterling Tech had gone public. I was worth $500 million. I thought I'd made it. Time to claim my family. I flew back to New York, went to Margaret's apartment. She'd moved. I hired investigators, took 2 weeks to find her. Caroline's hand moved to her belly. Her daughter kicked. She thought about Vincent, about a man who'd leave his pregnant wife, about her own father doing the same thing. When I finally found her, you were 3 years old. I stood outside a playground, watched you and Margaret. You were on the swings, laughing. She pushed you higher and higher. You were wearing a purple jacket. Purple was always your favorite color, even then. You watched us? For an hour. Then Margaret saw me, her face. I'll never forget it. Not angry, not sad, just tired. She met me at a coffee shop. Different one from where we'd first met. Told me you thought I was dead. Car accident before you were born. She'd even shown you a death certificate. Fake, but you were 3. You believed it. Why would she do that? Because she'd asked me to come back. When you were 6 months old, she called, said she needed help. You were colicky. She was exhausted, working 2 jobs, barely sleeping. She needed me. Carolyn already knew the answer, could see it in Nicholas's face. You didn't come. I was closing our Series B funding, $80 million, make or break moment for the company. I told her I'd come next month, when things calmed down. Next month became 6 months. She stopped calling. When I finally showed up, you were 3, and to you, I was dead. What did she say when you showed up? Nicholas's eyes were wet. She said I'd made my choice. Money over family, success over love. And she wouldn't let me hurt you by drifting in and out of your life when it was convenient. Either I committed fully, right then, or I stayed dead. I had 24 hours to decide. And you chose to stay dead? I chose the company, told myself I'd make it worth it, build an empire, create something so successful that one day you'd understand. Forgive me. I'd make so much money that I could fix everything. Carolyn's hands were shaking. She clasped them together. Did it work? I made billions. Sterling Tech revolutionized cloud computing. I'm worth $11 billion now. Forbes top 50. I have houses in 6 countries, a private jet, more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes. Nicholas looked directly at her. And none of it matters, because I lost you. You didn't lose me, you gave me up. Yes, I did. The admission hung in the air. No excuse, no justifications, just truth. Carolyn thought about Vincent, about his lies, his manipulations, his excuses for everything. And here was her father, a man who'd abandoned her before she was born, not making excuses, just admitting the truth. Why did Mom let you send money for my education? Because she's a better person than I am. She put you first, always. The money wasn't for me. It was for you. College fund, student loans paid off, down payment assistance. She told you it came from your grandparents. Grandma and Grandpa Matthews died when I was 12. I know, but the money kept coming. Your mother never told you. She wanted you to have opportunities, even if it came from me. Carolyn pressed her thumbnail into her palm. Hard. The pain helped, focused her. Her mother did that too, when stressed. She'd never noticed before. Nicholas noticed. Your mother did that. That exact gesture. I haven't seen it in 32 years, but I recognize it immediately. Caroline stopped, looked at her hand, the small crescent marks where her nail had dug in. You're telling me all this now. Why? Because 2 months ago, I found out about Vincent, about his bankruptcy, his plan to divorce you. And I realized you were about to face the hardest moment of your life, just like your mother did 32 years ago. Alone, pregnant, betrayed. And I couldn't let that happen. Not again. So you've been watching, waiting for him to leave me. I've been preparing to protect you when he did. I knew he would. Men like Vincent are predictable. I should know. I was him 32 years ago. The comparison stung because it was true. Vincent was Nicholas, just a cheaper version. What if I don't want your help? What if I want nothing to do with you? Then I'll still protect you. From a distance, like I've done your whole life. You'll never see me again. But you and your daughter will never want for anything. That's my promise. 32 years too late, but it's the only promise I can make. Carolyn looked at this man, this stranger, This father, he'd missed her entire life. Every birthday, every achievement, every heartbreak. He'd been dead. Easier that way. Dead fathers couldn't disappoint you. Dead fathers couldn't leave again. But he wasn't dead. He was here, offering help, offering protection, offering everything except what she actually wanted. An explanation for why she wasn't enough to make him stay. I trusted Vincent. I rearranged my entire life. I wasn't the problem. No, Nicholas said firmly. You were never the problem. Vincent is broken. I was broken. Men who put ambition over love are broken. That's on us, never on you. Carolyn's phone buzzed. Grace? Texting? Where are you? Are you okay? She should go, back to the apartment, back to packing, back to reality, but she stayed sitting in this small office with this stranger who was her father. I need to think. Of course, take all the time you need. Nicholas pulled out a business card. Heavy stock, embossed, Sterling and Associates. Richard Sterling, senior partner. Call Rick when you're ready, or don't, but please let him handle the divorce. Pro bono. Consider it a gift. I don't want your charity. It's not charity. It's what I should have done 32 years ago, taking care of my family. Caroline took the card, stood carefully. 7 months pregnant. Everything was harder now. Getting up, sitting down, existing. I need to get back. Nicholas walked her to the door. Stopped. Carolyn, one more thing. She waited. Your daughter, my granddaughter. I don't deserve to know her, but I hope someday you'll tell her about me. Not the father I was, but the grandfather I want to be. Carolyn left without answering. Walked through the shelter, past families eating Christmas dinner, past volunteers serving food, past a little girl in the purple jacket. Always purple. Some things never change. Outside it was snowing. First snow of the season, white flakes catching in her hair, melting on her face, mixing with tears she didn't remember starting to cry. Her father was alive. Her husband was a fraud. Her life was a lie. And it was Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, Caroline Matthews. Merry Christmas. Caroline sat in her car for a long time. Engine running, heater on, snow falling outside. She should drive back to the apartment, help Grace pack, call a lawyer, do something productive. Instead, she called her mother. Margaret answered immediately. Caroline, baby, I'm so sorry. I should have told you years ago. I thought I was protecting you. Were you, or were you protecting yourself? Silence, then. Maybe both. He hurt me when he left. I was 26 years old, pregnant, alone, working 3 jobs. He chose his company over us. And I couldn't let him do that to you too. Couldn't let you spend your childhood wondering why you weren't enough to make your father stay. Caroline watched the snow fall. Was I enough? Oh, baby, you were always enough. You were everything. Nicholas just couldn't see it. Couldn't see past his own ambition. He says he's been helping, sending money. He has, for 29 years. I took it because I put you first, always. But I never told you because I didn't want you to feel obligated to him. He gave up that right when he left. He wants to help now with Vincent, with the divorce. Do you want his help? Carolyn thought about that. Did she? This stranger? This man who'd abandoned her? Who'd chosen success over family? Who'd missed everything? I don't know, but I need help from someone. Vincent is. Mom, he's been lying about everything. The money, the business, all of it, and his mother. She threatened to destroy your company. Let her try. I've survived worse than Evelyn Ashford. Nicholas says he can protect you. I don't need his protection, but you might, you and my granddaughter. So if Nicholas wants to help, if he wants to do the right thing 32 years late, let him. Just like that? Just like that. I forgave him a long time ago. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, doesn't mean I'd ever trust him again. But it means I'm not carrying that anger anymore. It was too heavy, and you don't need to carry it either. Carolyn closed her eyes. I don't know how to do this. One step at a time, one day at a time. That's how I did it. That's how you'll do it too. They talked for a few more minutes. Then Caroline hung up, sat in the quiet car, snow piling up on the windshield, blocking out the world. Her phone buzzed. Grace. Caroline, where are you? I'm getting worried. Caroline looked at the shelter, at the people streaming in and out, at the Christmas lights, at the volunteers in Santa hats serving food to people who had nowhere else to go on Christmas. She texted back, "Still at the shelter. Come meet me here." Grace arrived 20 minutes later, found Caroline standing by the entrance, watching Nicholas in his full Santa costume, ringing his bell, greeting everyone who passed. He saw Caroline, nodded, didn't approach, gave her space. "That's him?" Grace asked. "That's him? Your dead billionaire father dressed as Santa at a homeless shelter on Christmas Day?" "Yes. This is the weirdest day of my life. And I work in pediatrics. I've seen weird." Carolyn almost laughed. Almost. "He wants to help with Vincent, free lawyers, full legal team. And what do you want?" "I want Vincent to not have done this. I want to wake up this morning and have it be a normal Christmas. I want my marriage to be real. I want my life back." Grace hugged her, right there on the sidewalk, in the snow, while people walked past them into the shelter. "Your old life was built on lies. Maybe you need a new one. How do I even start?" "By accepting help from whoever offers it, even him." They went inside. Nicholas saw them, started to approach. Caroline held up her hand, not ready for that conversation yet. He nodded, understood, went back to his post. Carolyn and Grace served food instead. Mashed potatoes, turkey, stuffing, green beans. Caroline's hands moved automatically. Scoop, plate, smile. Next person. Scoop, plate, smile so. Next person. A little girl approached, maybe 5 years old. Thin, too thin, purple jacket, like Caroline used to wear. The girl tugged on Caroline's dress. "Are you okay?" Caroline looked down at her, this tiny child at a shelter on Christmas Day, asking if she was okay. The absurdity hit her, the cruelty of it. "I'm supposed to be asking you that." The girl shrugged. "It's okay to be sad on Christmas. My mom says Christmas is hardest when you're supposed to be happy, but aren't it?" The simple wisdom destroyed her. Carolyn's eyes filled with tears. She couldn't answer, couldn't speak. Grace took over Caroline's station. "Bathroom. Now." Carolyn fled, found the women's restroom, locked herself in a stall, slid down the wall, 7 months pregnant, sitting on a bathroom floor, in a homeless shelter, on Christmas Day. The sobs came, deep, primal, the kind that hurt your ribs, the kind that feel like they'll never stop. Everything crashed down at once. Vincent's betrayal, her father's abandonment, Evelyn's threats, the loss of her home, her job, her life, everything she'd built, gone, all gone. Someone knocked. "Caroline?" "Nicholas," his voice careful, gentle. "I'm here. I'm not leaving again. Whatever you need, I'm here." She couldn't answer, couldn't stop crying, couldn't breathe. "I know I have no right to ask anything, but please let me help. Let me do what I should have done 32 years ago. Be your father." Carolyn opened the stall door. Nicholas was sitting on the bathroom floor, billionaire in a Santa costume sitting on a shelter bathroom floor on Christmas Day, because his daughter was falling apart. The daughter he'd never known, who he'd given up before she was born. "I'm such a mess. You're 7 months pregnant and your husband served you divorce papers on Christmas morning. You're entitled to be a mess. I don't know how to do this, any of this. Neither do I, but we'll figure it out. Together, if you'll let me." Carolyn looked at him. This stranger, this father. Why? Why now? You've stayed away for 32 years. Why show up now? "Because I was wrong about everything. I thought success would make me worthy of being your father. But success doesn't make anyone worthy of anything. Love does, showing up does, and I didn't show up. I failed the most important test of my life. Failed your mother. Failed you. I can't change that. Can't fix it. But maybe I can be there for your daughter, my granddaughter. Maybe I can break the cycle. What if you leave again?" "I won't." "How do I know that?" "You don't, but I'm asking you to trust me anyway. One day at a time. That's all I'm asking for." Carolyn wiped her eyes. Do you know what Vincent posted on Instagram? Today, while he was destroying my life? Nicholas pulled out his phone, showed her. He'd already seen it. Vincent's Instagram, photo of him and Amber, both of them glowing, happy, living their best life. Caption, starting my new life with my true love. Sometimes you have to let go of dead weight to soar. New beginnings upgrade, complete. Dead weight, he'd called his pregnant wife dead weight on Christmas Day for the world to see. The comments were full of congratulations, heart emojis. You deserve it. She's gorgeous. Upgrade for sure. One comment asked, what about your wife? Vincent's reply, we're handling it privately. She understands. Carolyn laughed, bitter, sharp. I understand nothing. Good. Understanding implies there's logic. There isn't, just cruelty. Nicholas helped her up, carefully. She was 7 months pregnant. Everything required assistance now. She hated it, hated being helpless, hated needing help. But she needed it anyway. They went back to the main hall. Grace was still serving food. Saw Caroline. Her face asked the question. Caroline nodded. I'm okay. For now, that's enough. Nicholas went back to his post, Santa duty, ringing the bell, greeting people, being present, doing the work, showing up. Carolyn watched him, this man who'd missed everything, who was trying 32 years too late to be a father. Maybe it was too late, or maybe it was exactly the right time. She didn't know yet, but she was about to find out. Boxing Day arrived cold and gray. Carolyn woke up in her childhood bedroom at her mother's house. Purple walls, posters from high school, a twin bed that felt too small. She was 32 years old, pregnant, starting over. Her phone showed 17 missed calls from Vincent. She deleted them without listening. One voicemail from Richard Sterling. Ms. Matthews, when you are ready to discuss representation, please call. We have significant evidence against Mr. Ashford. Best to move quickly. Carolyn called, scheduled a meeting, 11 a.m., Sterling and Associates downtown office. Grace drove her. Neither of them spoke much during the drive. The Sterling and Associates office occupied the top 3 floors of a building overlooking Central Park. Floor-to-ceiling windows, original artwork, the kind of place that charged $1,000 an hour just to breathe their air. Richard Sterling met them in the lobby himself. He was 42, tall, distinguished. He had Nicholas's eyes, Caroline's eyes, family eyes. Call me Rick. He shook her hand, then Grace's. I'm glad you came. His office was immaculate. Mahogany everything, leather chairs, books lining the walls. Rick gestured to the chairs. Caroline sat carefully. 7 months pregnant. Everything was a production now. Before we start, Rick opened a folder. I need to say something. Dad wanted to reach out when you graduated college. I told him to wait. You had your life. We didn't have the right to disrupt it. He looked directly at Caroline. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Caroline studied him. This half-brother she'd never known. He'd existed her whole life, somewhere, living his life while she lived hers. Parallel tracks that never crossed. Why were you wrong? Because family matters, even complicated family, even family that's made mistakes. I thought we were protecting you by staying away, but we were just making the same mistake my father made. Absence doesn't protect anyone, it just hurts differently. Grace leaned forward. Can we skip to the part where you destroy Vincent Ashford? Rick smiled. I like you, straight to business. Yes, let's discuss Vincent. He pulled out a thick file. His divorce papers are garbage. The prenup is invalid on multiple grounds. He misrepresented his assets. You had no independent counsel review. He coerced you while pregnant. Any competent judge will throw it out. His mother said they control every judge. Evelyn Ashford has made donations to 3 law firms whose partners became judges. That's it. My father has buildings named after him at 6 universities where current sitting judges graduated. He's on hospital boards where judges' spouses work. He's been building connections for 40 years. We'll get a fair hearing. I can't afford. You're not paying. My father is. And before you refuse out of pride, think of it this way. He owes your mother 32 years of child support. This is payment for her, not for you. Carolyn hadn't thought of it that way. How much would this cost? If you were paying $500,000 minimum, Vincent would drag this out, make it expensive, force you to settle. That's his strategy. And with your help, we crush him in 3 months, maybe less. We have evidence of fraud, financial misrepresentation, recorded admissions of conspiracy. What recorded admissions? Rick pulled out a device, small, digital. Call him right now, speakerphone. Ask him why he's doing this. He won't answer. He will. He's called you 17 times. He wants to convince you to sign. Make the call. Carolyn pulled out her phone, stared at Vincent's name. Her thumb hovered over the call button, just like yesterday morning, when her world ended, before she knew about Nicholas, before everything changed. She pressed call. Vincent answered on the second ring. Caroline, finally, be reasonable. Just sign the papers. No. Silence. He hadn't expected that. Excuse me? I said no, I'm getting a lawyer, a real one. We're going to court. His tone shifted. The fake warmth disappeared. You can't afford to fight me. Watch me. Caroline, don't be stupid. I will destroy you. My mother will destroy your mother. You'll end up serving me food at events while begging for child support scraps. Is that what you want? Rick was taking notes, gesturing for her to keep going. Why are you doing this? We were happy, weren't we? Carolyn knew the answer, but she needed him to say it, needed him to admit it out loud. Happy? Vincent laughed, actually laughed. Caroline, you were a placeholder, a safe investment while I rebuilt. You had good credit, a stable career, a mother with a profitable business I could eventually merge into something useful. But Amber, she has real connections, real value. You're just dead weight? Your words, but accurate, yes. Rick's pen moved rapidly across his notepad. He mouthed, perfect. So you married me for what? My credit score? And your naivety. You believed everything. The struggling entrepreneur story, the big dreams. You never questioned anything. Just signed where I told you. Co-signed loans, opened credit cards. Moved money around. You were useful, but usefulness has a shelf life. And the baby? A complication, but not insurmountable. Child support can be arranged. You'll fade away. Amber and I will build something real, something worthy. Worthy, right. Is that why you're bankrupt? Because you're so worthy? Silence. Who told you that? Does it matter? I know everything, Vincent. The fake Millionaire Act, the maxed credit cards, the rejection letters from every investor in Manhattan. You're broke. You've always been broke. You just needed someone dumb enough to believe your lies. You're making a mistake. Sign the papers. Take the child support. Make this easy. Or what? You'll make it hard? You'll destroy me? Go ahead. Try. But you're not fighting me anymore. You're fighting people with actual power, actual money, not your fake Millionaire Act, real billionaires, and they're going to crush you. Caroline hung up, looked at Rick. Is that enough? It's perfect. Rick stopped the recording. He admitted to fraud, to conspiracy, to using you for financial gain. This recording alone will void the prenup. Establish your case for full dissolution of assets and give us grounds for a countersuit. Countersuit for damages. Emotional distress, fraud. We're not just defending, we're attacking. Grace grinned. I really like you. Rick pulled out more documents. Now, let's discuss living arrangements. You can't stay in the penthouse. Vincent will make it difficult. And you shouldn't be at your mother's house long term. We've arranged a corporate apartment, security building, 24-hour doorman, full prenatal care nearby. Expenses covered. By Nicholas. By your father, yes. Carolyn looked at Grace. This feels like too much. This feels like exactly enough, Grace countered. You're 7 months pregnant. Your husband destroyed your life on Christmas. Your evil mother-in-law threatened your mom. Accept the help. You can process the complicated feelings later. Rick continued, we'll file our response tomorrow. Request immediate temporary orders, spousal support, full medical coverage, exclusive use of marital assets pending trial. We'll freeze Vincent's accounts, prevent him from hiding money or transferring property, and we'll subpoena his business records. All of them. How long will this take? Normally, a year, maybe two. But we're not normal. We have evidence, resources, motivation. 3 months, 4 at most. You'll be divorced before your daughter is born. Caroline's hand went to her belly, her daughter, who would grow up with a divorced parents, who would never know her father, just like Caroline never knew hers. Or maybe not like that, maybe better, because Caroline would tell her daughter the truth, not pretty lies, just truth. And maybe her daughter would have a grandfather, one who showed up, one who tried. What about Evelyn, his mother? She threatened, "We're handling Mrs. Ashford separately. Let's just say her social influence is about to diminish significantly. My father has started making calls. By next week, she'll have bigger problems than your mother's catering business." Rick pulled out a business card. Different from Nicholas's, this one had a woman's name, Dr. Sarah Brennan, therapist. One more thing, you need someone to talk to. This isn't just a divorce. It's trauma, betrayal, loss of identity. Dr. Brennan specializes in high-conflict divorces and pregnancy counseling. My father is covering her fees as well. Caroline took the card, stared at it. He's thought of everything. He's had 32 years to think about how to be your father. He's trying to compress it all into a few weeks. Give him some credit. He's trying. Trying isn't the same as succeeding. No, but it's a start. Carolyn left the meeting with a folder full of documents, a plan, a strategy. For the first time since Christmas morning, she felt something other than despair. She felt angry, and anger was useful. Anger could fuel action. Vincent wanted a fight. He was about to get one, but not with Caroline alone. With Caroline and her billionaire father and the full weight of Sterling and Associates. Let's see how the fake millionaire handled real power. Caroline moved into the corporate apartment on December 27th. 15th floor, river view, 2 bedrooms, fully furnished, security desk in the lobby. Her mother helped her unpack while Grace arranged furniture. "This is nicer than my house," Margaret said, folding clothes into drawers. "It's temporary. Temporary or not, it's safe. That's what matters." Carolyn's childhood bedroom had been too small, too full of memories, too full of who she used to be. This apartment was anonymous. Clean, empty, a blank slate. Maybe that's what she needed. Her mother brought tea. They sat on the couch, floor-to-ceiling windows showing the city. New York in winter, gray and beautiful and cold. "Tell me about Nicholas," Caroline said quietly. "The real story, not the death certificate version." Margaret sipped her tea. "You want the truth or the version that makes me look good?" "Truth. I loved him, completely. The way you love someone when you're 26 and haven't been hurt yet. He was brilliant, charismatic, full of dreams. He talked about changing the world. I believed him. I believed in him. Then you got pregnant. Then I got pregnant, and he panicked. He was 22, working tech support for minimum wage, living in a studio with 2 roommates. He had this startup idea. Investors were circling, but they wanted 100% commitment. No family obligations, no distractions. So he chose the company. Margaret set down her tea. He did, and I let him, because I believed him when he said he'd come back, make his fortune, return for us, be the father you deserved. I waited 6 months, a year. He kept saying soon, next month, after the next funding round, after the product launch, always after. When did you stop waiting? When you were 6 months old. You were colicky, screaming for hours. I was working 2 jobs, barely sleeping, barely eating. I called him, begged him to come help, just for a week, just to give me a break. He said no. He said he was closing Series B funding, $80 million, make or break moment for Sterling Tech. He'd come next month. I hung up, didn't call again, started telling people he was dead. Car accident before you were born. Tragic. Final. Clean. Caroline watched her mother. Were you angry? Furious, for years, but anger doesn't feed a baby, doesn't pay rent. So I channeled it, built my business, raised my daughter, made a life, and eventually the anger faded, became something else. Acceptance maybe, indifference was S. He says he's been sending money. For 29 years, I took it. Not for me, for you. College fund, student loans, down payment assistance when you bought your first car. I told you it came from my parents, from their life insurance. They died when I was 12. I know, but the lie was easier than the truth, and the money was yours anyway. Child support, 32 years late, but still yours. Carolyn's phone buzzed. Grace. Turn on the news, any channel, now. Carolyn found the remote, turned on the TV. Every channel was covering the same story. Billionaire exposes tech entrepreneur's fraud. Vincent's face filled the screen. Not a flattering photo. One from his LinkedIn. Next to it, Nicholas's official photo. Sterling Tech CEO. Forbes Top 50. The anchor's voice. In an unprecedented move, Nicholas Sterling of Sterling Tech has purchased full-page ads in every major newspaper and digital billboard space across Manhattan, exposing Vincent Ashford, a supposed tech millionaire, as bankrupt. Sterling released Ashford's full financial disclosure, including tax returns, credit reports, and loan denials. The documents show Ashford has been operating under false pretenses for over 18 months. The screen changed, showed the ad, simple, devastating. Just facts. Vincent Ashford is bankrupt. Full financial disclosure attached. His millionaire image is fraud. His pregnant wife is homeless while he pretends prosperity. This is not success. This is cruelty. Nicholas Sterling, Sterling Tech. Carolyn stared. He actually did it. Margaret leaned forward. Did what? Nicholas, he's exposing Vincent. Publicly. With evidence. The news continued. Ashford was engaged to social media influencer Amber Thornton. The engagement was announced on Christmas Day, the same day Ashford filed for divorce from his pregnant wife. Thornton has since deleted all social media posts featuring Ashford and released a statement. Blindsided by lies, I deserve better. Had done with dead weight, Caroline laughed. Couldn't help it. Amber used Vincent's phrase, the one he'd used to describe Caroline. Dead weight. Karma worked fast. Her phone rang. Vincent. She didn't answer. He called again and again, 17 times in 10 minutes. She blocked his number. Rick called instead. Have you seen the news? I'm watching it now. Your father moves fast. Vincent's engagement party was scheduled for tonight. New Year's Eve. 300 guests. Every society page was covering it. By 5 p.m., half the guests had canceled. By 7, Amber had broken up with him publicly. By 8, Vincent was calling everyone we know begging for lawyers. No one will take his case. Why not? Because Nicholas Sterling doesn't make enemies. He makes examples. Every law firm in Manhattan knows that representing Vincent means going against my father. And no one wants that. Carolyn watched the news cycle through the story. Vincent's lies, his bankruptcy, his pregnant wife, the cruel timing, the Christmas Day betrayal. Public opinion turned fast and hard. Her phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. This is what happens when you refuse to be reasonable. You've destroyed my life. I hope you're happy. Vincent, different number. Caroline forwarded it to Rick without responding. Another text. My mother was right. You're vengeful, petty. This is why I left. Forward, delete, block. Another text. Another number. You think your father's money makes you powerful? You're still just the same nobody I married. Forward, delete, block. Carolyn turned off her phone, looked at her mother. Is it wrong that I feel satisfied? No, it's human. He hurt you publicly on the worst possible day. Now he's being hurt back. That's justice. Nicholas did this, not me. Does it matter? The result is the same. Vincent is exposed, you're protected, your daughter is safe. Sometimes justice comes from unexpected places. Caroline looked at the TV, at Vincent's face, at the scrolling text documenting his lies. Every rejection letter, every maxed credit card, every fake claim, all of it public now, permanent. Nicholas had said he'd protect her. She'd thought he meant lawyers, legal battles. She hadn't expected this. Public destruction, complete exposure. The kind of thing people never recover from. It was brutal, effective, exactly what Vincent deserved, and exactly what her father would do. A man who built an empire, who understood power, who knew how to wield it. For the first time since Christmas morning, Carolyn felt something other than pain. She felt vindicated, validated, seen. Vincent had tried to erase her, make her disappear, call her dead weight, discard her like trash. Nicholas had made Vincent the trash and taken out the garbage, publicly, permanently. Maybe having a billionaire father wasn't the worst thing in the world after all. The divorce hearing was scheduled for January 15th, 3 weeks after Christmas, 3 weeks after Caroline's life exploded. She was 8 months pregnant now, moving carefully, sleeping badly, anxious about everything. Rick had prepared her. Multiple meetings, mock testimony, what to expect, how to answer, what Vincent's lawyer would try. She was ready, as ready as anyone could be. The courthouse was downtown, old building, marble floors, high ceilings, the kind of place that smelled like justice and broken dreams. Carolyn wore a navy maternity dress, simple, conservative. Her mother's pearl necklace, the one Margaret had worn to Caroline's high school graduation. Grace met her outside. "You look perfect, professional, sympathetic, pregnant enough to make anyone with a soul feel terrible." "Vincent doesn't have a soul." "Then we're targeting the judge." They entered the courtroom. Vincent was already there, with his new lawyer, fourth one this month. The first three had quit after reviewing the evidence. This one looked young, desperate, the kind who takes hopeless cases for the publicity. Vincent looked terrible, dark circles under his eyes, cheap suit, his hair needed cutting. The facade was crumbling. No Amber, no mother, no friends, just him and his desperate lawyer. He looked at Caroline. She looked back, felt nothing. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And she'd achieved indifference faster than she'd thought possible. Rick sat beside our expensive suit, confident, everything Vincent's lawyer wasn't. Nicholas was in the gallery, back row, watching, supporting from a distance, giving Caroline space but being present, learning how to be a father. Slowly, the judge entered. Older woman, sharp eyes, Judge Patricia Morrison. No relation to Caroline's OBGYN. Different Morrison. Rick had researched her. Fair, no nonsense. Perfect for their case. Vincent's lawyer stood. "Your Honor, my client requests that this prenuptial agreement be enforced as written. Ms. Matthews signed willingly, had adequate time to review. The terms are clear." Rick stood. "Your Honor, the prenuptial agreement was signed under false pretenses. Mr. Ashford misrepresented his financial status. Ms. Matthews had no independent counsel review the document. She was coerced through emotional manipulation. And most critically, Mr. Ashford has admitted on recorded testimony to marrying Ms. Matthews specifically to exploit her financial assets. The prenup is void on multiple grounds." Recorded testimony? The judge looked interested. Rick played the phone call. Vincent's voice filled the courtroom. "You were a placeholder, a safe investment while I rebuilt. You had good credit, a stable career, a mother with a profitable business I could merge into something useful." The judge's expression hardened. "Mr. Ashford, is that your voice?" Vincent's lawyer whispered frantically. Vincent nodded. "Yes, but context." "Context?" The judge cut him off. "You admitted to marrying this woman to exploit her financially. That's not context. That's fraud." "I was angry. She provoked me. By refusing to sign divorce papers you served her on Christmas morning while she was 7 months pregnant." The judge looked at the file. "You filed these papers December 25th, the same day you announced your engagement to another woman on social media." The timing was coincidental." "Coincidental, right." The judge turned to Rick. You mentioned Ms. Matthews had no independent counsel review the prenup? Correct. Mr. Ashford's lawyer presented the documents 2 days before the wedding, told her it was standard, that if she didn't sign immediately, the wedding would be canceled. Venue booked, guests invited, dress purchased. She signed under duress. The judge looked at Vincent. Is this true? It's standard practice. Prenups before weddings. 2 days before is not standard practice. It's coercion. The judge made notes. I'm voiding the prenuptial agreement. Ms. Matthews will be entitled to equitable distribution of all marital assets acquired during the marriage. Vincent's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client has minimal assets. He's experiencing financial difficulties. Because he's been committing fraud, Rick interrupted. Mr. Ashford represented himself as a successful tech entrepreneur. Used that representation to convince Ms. Matthews to leave her career, co-sign loans, open joint credit cards. She invested her savings into his lifestyle, the penthouse deposit, the car, business investments, all under false pretenses. The judge reviewed documents. The financial disclosure shows Mr. Ashford is currently bankrupt. He is, but he has significant earning potential based on his credentials and experience. We're requesting child support calculated on potential income, not current income. He has an MBA from Columbia, tech experience, professional network. He's unemployed by choice, not circumstance. Objection! Vincent's lawyer jumped up. My client is unemployed because Mr. Sterling destroyed his reputation. The public exposure makes him unemployable. Mr. Sterling exposed fraud. That's not defamation. That's truth. If Mr. Ashford is unemployable, it's because he's a known liar. That's his fault, not ours. The judge looked tired. Mr. Ashford, you served divorce papers to your pregnant wife on Christmas Day, admitted to marrying her for financial exploitation, and now claim poverty to avoid support obligations. Is that an accurate summary? Vincent said nothing. His lawyer whispered urgently, Your Honor, my client maintains he acted in good faith. Good faith? I've been a judge for 23 years. I've seen terrible behavior. This ranks among the worst. Mr. Ashford, you're vacating the marital residence immediately. Ms. Matthews will have exclusive use through the end of the lease term. But I have nowhere. You should have thought of that before you served divorce papers on Christmas. Child support will be calculated based on potential earnings of $150,000 annually. That's below your claimed income for the past 5 years, so I'm being generous. I can't afford, then get a job, any job. This court has no sympathy for a man who destroys his pregnant wife's life and then claims poverty. The judge looked at Caroline. Mrs. Matthews, this court apologizes for what you've endured. You deserve better. Your daughter deserves better. You'll receive full medical coverage through delivery, spousal support pending final divorce, and priority custody of your child. Priority custody? Given Mr. Ashford's behavior, demonstrated cruelty, and admitted fraud, I see no reason to grant equal custody. He'll have supervised visitation pending evaluation. Vincent stood. You can't do that. She's my daughter too. You called your pregnant wife dead weight on social media. You abandoned her on Christmas. You've shown no interest in this child except as a financial obligation. When you demonstrate you're capable of putting your daughter's needs above your own, we'll revisit custody. Until then, supervised visits only. Evelyn Ashford stood from the gallery. Caroline hadn't seen her come in. Your Honor, your son deserves precisely what he's given, which is nothing. And Mrs. Ashford, if I see any evidence of you interfering with Ms. Matthews or her mother's business, you'll be held in contempt. Do I make myself clear? Evelyn's face went white. Yes, Your Honor. Good. This hearing is adjourned. Final divorce proceedings in 90 days. The gavel came down. Final, decisive, over. Carolyn sat very still. It was done, not finished, but started. The wheels of justice turning slowly, but turning. Rick touched her shoulder. You did great. Just sitting there, being pregnant, looking sympathetic. Perfect. I didn't do anything. You didn't have to. The evidence spoke for itself, and the judge hated him. We couldn't have asked for a better outcome. Caroline looked at Vincent. He was arguing with his lawyer, gesturing frantically, his life falling apart in real time. She should feel something, satisfaction, victory, something. She felt nothing, just tired, so tired. Nicholas approached, careful, hesitant. You okay? I think so. It's over, sort of. The legal part will take time, but you're protected now, safe. That's what matters. Caroline looked up at him. This man who was her father, who'd shown up, who'd used his power to destroy her enemies, who was trying so hard to be something he'd never been. Thank you for this, for all of it. Don't thank me. It's what I should have done 32 years ago, protected my family. I'm just late, as usual. Late is better than never. Nicholas smiled, sad, grateful. I'll take that. The gallery was full. Caroline hadn't noticed before, but now she saw them. Her former co-workers from the museum, 23 people. They'd taken personal days, come to witness, come to support. Her former boss approached. Dr. Helen Richardson, curator of modern art. Caroline, we never understood why you left. You were brilliant. The position is yours if you want it back, part-time until the baby comes, full-time when ready, if you want to return. Caroline looked at Vincent, defeated, diminished, destroyed. Then at the people who'd come for her, friends she'd thought she'd lost, support she didn't know she had. Yes, I'd love to return. Good, we've missed you. The museum isn't the same without you. They left the courthouse together. Caroline, Grace, her mother, Nicholas, Rick. A strange family, broken, complicated, but family nonetheless. Outside it was snowing again. January snow, the kind that sticks, makes everything clean. Caroline tilted her face up, let the snow fall on her skin, cold, real, perfect. Vincent called after her, Caroline, we need to talk. This isn't fair. I'm her father. I have rights. She didn't turn around, didn't acknowledge him, just kept walking toward her new life, her real life, the one not built on lies. Behind her, Vincent kept shouting, but his voice got quieter. Farther away, until she couldn't hear it anymore, just the sound of snow, falling soft and steady, covering everything, making it new. Carolyn went into labor on February 14th, Valentine's Day. The irony wasn't lost on her. The universe had a twisted sense of humor. Destroy her marriage on Christmas, give her a daughter on the day celebrating love. Full circle, poetic, cruel. Labor started at 3 a.m., sharp cramping that woke her from restless sleep. She'd been having Braxton Hicks contractions for weeks, false alarms, her body practicing. But these felt different, deeper, more insistent, real. She timed them, 10 minutes apart, then 8, then 6. This was it. Her daughter was coming. Ready or not. Caroline called Grace first. Her best friend answered on the first ring. Always ready, always present. Is it time? I think so. Contractions are 6 minutes apart. I'm on my way, 20 minutes. Pack your bag. Time your contractions. Breathe. Next call, her mother. Margaret was spending the night at her own apartment, giving Caroline space, independence, but close enough to come when needed. Mom, labor started. Oh, baby, I'm coming right now. Don't move. Don't do anything. Just breathe. I've been breathing for 8 months. I think I have it figured out. Smart mouth, even in labor. That's my girl. Last call, Nicholas, her father, the man who'd missed her birth 32 years ago, who'd chosen a board meeting over his daughter, who was getting a second chance with his granddaughter. He answered immediately, wide awake despite the hour. Caroline, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Labor started. Hope is coming. Silence. Long enough that Caroline checked to see if the call had dropped. Then, I'm on my way. Which hospital? Mount Sinai, but you don't have to. I'm already getting dressed. I'll meet you there. Grace arrived in 15 minutes, still in pajamas, hair wild. She'd thrown a coat over everything and run. That's what best friends do. They run toward your crisis, not away from it. How far apart? 5 minutes now. Okay, we're going. Now, can you walk? I'm pregnant, not paralyzed. Again with the smart mouth. Save your energy, you're going to need it. The drive to Mount Sinai took 20 minutes. Every pothole felt like an earthquake. Every red light lasted forever. Carolyn gripped the door handle, breathed through contractions, counted seconds until they passed. Grace talked the whole way, distracting her, stories from the hospital, funny patients, weird emergencies. The time someone came in with a cucumber stuck somewhere it shouldn't be. Never underestimate human creativity when it comes to emergency room visits. Carolyn laughed, then cringed. Laughing during contractions was a mistake. Stop being funny. Can't. It's my defense mechanism. Humor in crisis. It's why I'm good at pediatrics. Kids need someone who can make them laugh while they're scared. They arrived at 4:30 a.m. Labor and delivery was quiet, night shift winding down, morning shift not yet started, the in-between time, when hospitals feel liminal, suspended. A nurse met them, young, efficient, kind eyes. Caroline Matthews? That's me. Let's get you checked in. Your OB is on call. Dr. Morrison is already here for another delivery. She'll check on you soon. They got Caroline into a room, hospital gown, IV, monitors, all the equipment that turns birth into a medical event. The nurse checked her cervix. 4 centimeters, you're progressing nicely. First baby? Yes. Labor can take a while with first babies. Get comfortable. This might be a long day. Margaret arrived at 5 a.m., brought snacks, Caroline's favorite pillow from home, essential oils that were supposed to help with pain. They didn't. But the gesture mattered. Her mother trying, being present, doing what she'd done alone 32 years ago. But this time with people who cared. Nicholas arrived at 5:30, looking terrified, more scared than Caroline had ever seen him. This man who commanded boardrooms, who negotiated billion-dollar deals, who'd built an empire from nothing, terrified of birth, of blood, of the messy reality of life. Can I? Should I? Do you want me to? You can come in, if you want. I want, but I don't want to intrude. This is your experience, your moment. I don't have the right. Grace cut him off. Nicholas, she said you can come in. Stop self-flagellating and support your daughter. That's what fathers do, even ones who are 32 years late. He came in, sat in the corner, out of the way, watching, present but not intrusive, learning how to be here, how to take up space without demanding it. Labor progressed slowly, 6 centimeters by 8 a.m., 7 centimeters by noon, 8 centimeters by 4 p.m. Hours blurred together, pain came in waves, relentless, exhausting. Carolyn had read about labor, taken classes, watched videos. Nothing prepared her for the reality. The reality was pain, deep, primal, the kind that makes you forget your own name, makes you understand why women used to die doing this, why it's called labor. Because it's work, the hardest work, creating life, pushing a human being out of your body. Grace held her hand through contractions. Margaret wiped her forehead with cool cloths. Nicholas paced, useless, but present. That was enough. I can't do this, Caroline said during a particularly bad contraction. It's too much. I changed my mind. I don't want to do this. Too late now, baby, Margaret said gently. She's coming whether you're ready or not. I'm not ready. I'm definitely not ready. No one is. That's the secret. Every mother who's ever existed wasn't ready. But we do it anyway, because there's no other choice. De Morrison came in at 6 p.m., checked Caroline's progress. 9 centimeters, almost there. Another hour, maybe 2. You're doing great. I don't feel great. I feel like I'm dying. You're not dying, you're giving birth. Feels similar, but very different outcome. The urge to push came at 8 p.m., overwhelming, unstoppable. Caroline's body took over. Millions of years of evolution kicking in, her body knew what to do, even if her mind didn't. Don't push yet, the nurse said. Wait for Dr. Morrison. I can't wait. I need to push, now. Pant. Don't push, pant. Carolyn panted. wanted to murder everyone in the room. Panting was stupid. Her body demanded she push, needed to push. Everything in her screamed to push. Dr. Morrison arrived, calm, efficient. Okay, Caroline. Next contraction. You can push. The contraction came. Carolyn pushed. Nothing happened. She pushed again. Still nothing, again and again and again. Push after push after push. Exhausting, endless. Would this ever end? I can see her head, Dr. Morrison said. Dark hair, lots of it. One more big push. Caroline pushed. With everything she had, every ounce of strength, every bit of willpower, every prayer she'd ever prayed. Push, push, push. And then, release, sudden, complete. The pressure disappeared, replaced by crying, loud, angry, beautiful crying. It's a girl, Dr. Morrison said. Unnecessary. Caroline knew, had known for months, but hearing it made it real. Official. Her daughter. Here. Alive. Perfect. They placed Hope on Caroline's chest, skin to skin, warm, wet, covered in vernix and blood and all the messy reality of birth. Beautiful. The most beautiful thing Caroline had ever seen. Hi, baby, Caroline whispered. I'm your mom, and I promise I'll do better. Be better. You'll never wonder why you weren't enough, because you're everything. Hope stopped crying, opened her eyes, dark blue, newborn blue. They'd change color eventually, maybe stay blue like Caroline's, maybe turn brown like Vincent's. Didn't matter. They were perfect now. Grace was crying. Margaret was crying. Nicholas was definitely crying, trying to hide it, failing miserably. Men always think they can hide tears. They can't. The nurses took Hope, cleaned her, measured her, weighed her. 8 pounds, 3 ounces, 20 inches long. Perfect APGAR scores, healthy, strong, fighter, just like her mother, just like her grandmother. Sterling women were survivors. They brought Hope back, wrapped in hospital blankets, pink hat, looking like every newborn ever. Generic, interchangeable. But to Caroline, to her family, she was singular, unique, the most important person in the world. Margaret held her first, grandmother privilege. She looks just like you did. Same nose, same chin. My baby's baby. Grace went next, pediatric nurse, expert at holding babies. Hey, little one, I'm your Auntie Grace. I'm going to spoil you rotten. Buy you inappropriate toys your mother hates. Teach you swear words. Standard aunt duties. Then Nicholas, hesitant, uncertain. Would it be okay if I come meet your granddaughter? He approached like she might shatter. This man who'd held billion-dollar deals in his hands, who'd built empires, terrified of a 7-pound baby. Carolyn showed him how to support her head, how to hold her securely. His hand shook. She's so small. She's a newborn. I know, but she's perfect. She looks like you did when you were born. Your mother sent me pictures. I kept them all these years in my office, hidden in a drawer. I'd look at them sometimes, wonder what you were doing, if you were happy, if you even knew I existed. I didn't. Mom told me you were dead. I was, in every way that mattered. But now she's given me a second chance, and I swear to God, Caroline, I will be better for her than I was for you, every single day. Whatever she needs, I'll be there. I know, you already have been. They sat in comfortable silence, Caroline exhausted in the hospital bed, sore, bleeding, healing. The reality of postpartum that no one talks about. Nicholas in the chair, holding Hope, looking at her like she was the most valuable thing he'd ever held. And she was. A soft knock on the door. Rick entered. Uncle Rick, carrying flowers, balloons, gift bag. Sorry, I'm late. I was in depositions. Couldn't get away. But I'm here now. Can I meet my niece? Come in. Meet Hope. Rick approached, looked at Hope. His face softened. She's beautiful. She looks like you, and like Dad. Sterling genes are strong. That's what everyone says. It's true, she's going to break hearts, just like her mother, or build empires like her grandfather, or both. Women can do both now. Times have changed. They talked for a while, family small talk, the kind that fills space, creates connection, builds bonds. Then Rick's expression changed, became professional, lawyer mode. Caroline, I need to tell you something. Vincent's lawyer called. He wants to visit, meet Hope, his rights as a father. I told them we'd discuss it, but ultimately it's your decision. Carolyn looked at Hope, sleeping peacefully in Nicholas's arms. Unaware of the complicated family she'd been born into, the absent father, the reformed grandfather, the mother still healing from betrayal. What do you think? Legally, he has rights, supervised visitation pending the court evaluation. But emotionally, morally, he's done nothing to earn the privilege of meeting her. He called you dead weight. He abandoned you pregnant on Christmas. He's shown zero interest in being a father, just in avoiding child support. But he's still her father biologically. Biology doesn't make you a parent. Showing up does, love does, commitment does. Vincent has shown none of those things. What if he's changed? What if seeing her, meeting her, what if that makes him want to try? Rick sighed. It's possible. People change sometimes. But Caroline, don't set yourself up for more disappointment. Don't give him the power to hurt you again. Or worse, to hurt Hope. One visit, supervised, you and mom present. If he shows genuine interest, genuine effort, we can discuss more. But if he's just going through the motions, checking a box, then no, he doesn't get access to my daughter. Fair enough, I'll set it up. 2 days from now, here at the hospital before you're discharged. Neutral territory, time limited, supervised. If he shows up late or cancels, that tells us everything we need to know. Vincent came 2 days later, exactly on time. Surprising. Carolyn had expected him to be late, to make excuses, to cancel entirely. But he showed up. That meant something. Maybe not much, but something. He looked terrible. Dark circles under his eyes. Cheap suit, hair needed cutting. The polished millionaire facade completely gone. This was Vincent Ashford stripped bare. No pretense, no performance, just a man who'd destroyed his life through his own choices. Rick and Margaret were present, supervisors, witnesses, protection. Vincent barely acknowledged them, focused entirely on the bassinet where Hope slept. Can I hold her? Carolyn wanted to say no, wanted to protect her daughter from this man who had hurt her so badly. But Hope deserved to meet her father, even if he didn't deserve to meet Hope. You can support her head. She's still learning to control her neck. Vincent picked up Hope awkwardly, like she might explode, or like he might drop her. His hands were stiff, uncertain. He held her away from his body. No connection, no natural instinct, just obligation. Hope started fussing immediately. Babies sense tension, sense uncertainty. Hope sensed Vincent's discomfort, responded with her own. She doesn't like me. She doesn't know you. There's a difference. Vincent adjusted his grip, still awkward, still uncomfortable. She's smaller than I expected. She's 3 days old. All newborns are small. Yeah, I guess. Silence stretched, uncomfortable, heavy. Vincent stared at Hope. Hope fussed. Vincent looked increasingly panicked, like he wanted to put her down. Run away. Escape this responsibility he'd never wanted. She has your nose, Margaret said quietly, trying to help, create connection, build bridge. And your grandmother's chin. My mother had that exact chin, strong, determined. Vincent said nothing, just kept staring at Hope like she was a puzzle he couldn't solve, a problem with no solution. 10 minutes passed, felt like hours. Finally, Vincent spoke. This is harder than I thought. The whole dad thing. I don't know what I thought, but it wasn't this. What is this? Carolyn asked. Terrifying, overwhelming. I look at her and I don't feel anything. Shouldn't I feel something? Love, connection, something? Maybe, or maybe those feelings come later, with time, with effort, with showing up. Vincent handed Hope back to Caroline. Careful. Relieved to be free of her. I don't think I can do this. Be a father. It's too much. I'm not. I'm not ready. No one is ready, but people do it anyway. I know, but I can't. I thought maybe seeing her, meeting her, maybe that would change something. Flip a switch. Make me want to be a father, but it didn't. I still just feel nothing. Carolyn held Hope close, protected her. Then what are you saying? I'm saying I want to sign away my rights, terminate my parental obligations. It's better for everyone. For her, she deserves a father who wants her, who loves her. I'm not that person. I don't think I ever will be. Part of Caroline wanted to fight, force him to try, to be present, to care. But you can't force love, can't manufacture connection. And Hope deserved better than a father who showed up out of obligation, who felt nothing, who wanted to be anywhere else. If that's what you want, Rick can prepare the papers. It is. I'll still pay child support. The court can enforce that, but otherwise, I think it's better if I'm not involved. Cleaner, simpler, better for her. He left, walked out of the hospital room, out of Hope's life, out of Caroline's life. Easy, simple, like they meant nothing. Maybe they didn't, to him, but that was his loss, his failure, not theirs. Caroline looked at Hope, at her perfect daughter. It's okay, baby. You don't need him. You have me, Grandma, Grandpa Nicholas, Uncle Rick, Auntie Grace. That's enough. That's more than enough. Hope grabbed Caroline's finger, held tight, the way babies do, like they'll never let go, trusting completely. Caroline's heart broke and healed simultaneously. This tiny person, this whole human being, depending entirely on her, trusting her, loving her unconditionally. I won't let you down. I promise. Whatever you need, whatever you want, I'll be there. Always. 3 months later, spring arrived in New York with sudden warmth. April, cherry blossoms in Central Park. Tourists everywhere. The city coming alive after winter hibernation. Caroline returned to work part-time. Museum curator, her old position. They'd held it, waited for her, welcomed her back with genuine warmth. She worked 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The other 4 days belonged to Hope. Her mother watched Hope on work days. Margaret's catering business was thriving. She'd hired staff, could be flexible, could bring Hope to client meetings in a carrier. Clients loved it. Baby at business meetings, humanized everything, made negotiations friendlier. Evelyn Ashford's catering company had indeed lost the Greenwich Country Club contract. The story became local news. Small business owner Margaret Matthews beating old money Evelyn Ashford. David versus Goliath. People loved it. Margaret's business tripled. She had to turn down clients, hire more staff, rent commercial kitchen space. Karma works fast, Grace said one afternoon. They were having coffee. Well, Caroline was having coffee. Grace was drinking some green juice thing that looked toxic. Evelyn tried to destroy your mom, ended up destroying herself. Poetic justice. Nicholas helped. He's on the country club board. So your mom still had to deliver, had to be better than Evelyn. The opportunity was handed to her, but she earned the results. Carolyn watched Hope and her bouncer. 3 months old now, getting chubby, smiling constantly, discovering her hands, her feet, the world. Everything was new. Everything was wonder. I got a job offer. Grace looked up. Oh? Metropolitan Museum, Director of Contemporary Exhibits, full-time, significant salary increase, comprehensive benefits. They want me to start in June. That's huge. That's Caroline. That's your dream job. I know. So why do you look worried? Because Nicholas recommended me. The board reviewed my work independently, said it was my qualifications, my thesis, my expertise. But still, he opened the door. Would I have gotten this opportunity without him? Does it matter? It matters to me. I want to earn things, not have them handed to me because my father is a billionaire. Grace set down her toxic juice. Listen, yes, Nicholas recommended you. Yes, his name carries weight, but you still had to be qualified. They still reviewed your work. They still interviewed you. they still chose you. Rich kids get recommendations all the time. Most of them still fail because they're not actually good at anything. You're good, really good. Nicholas just made sure the right people knew it. You don't think it's nepotism? I think it's networking. That's how the world works. People help people they care about. Would you turn down this job if your mom had recommended you? If Grace had? No. Then why is Nicholas different? Because you're still mad at him? Because he wasn't there for 32 years? That's valid. But don't punish yourself to punish him. Take the job, excel at it, prove you deserved it. That's how you earn it. Carolyn knew Grace was right, but accepting help from Nicholas felt complicated. Like admitting she needed him, like forgiving him. She wasn't sure she was ready for either. Her phone buzzed, text from Rick. Court date set, Vincent's parental rights termination. May 15th, judge will review, likely to approve. He's been consistent about wanting out. Caroline texted back, thanks for handling everything. That's what family does. Family, such a loaded word. 3 months ago, she had a husband, a marriage, a father she thought was dead. Now she had a daughter, a father who was alive, a half-brother, an extended network of people who cared. Strange how life worked, how losing everything could lead to finding what mattered. 6 months after Hope's birth, August arrived hot and humid, New York in summer, miserable, wonderful, alive. Carolyn had accepted the Metropolitan Museum position, started in June, was thriving. Better than thriving, excelling. Her first exhibit opened in July, contemporary installation art from emerging artists. The reviews were incredible. Fresh vision, bold choices. Matthews brings new energy to classical institution. Her name, her work, her success. Nicholas came to the opening, proud, beaming. You did this, all of this. I just made an introduction. You did the rest. Thank you for believing I could. I always believed, even when I wasn't there. I believed. Hope was 6 months old now, sitting up, grabbing everything, babbling constantly. The apartment Caroline rented felt too small. She'd been looking at larger places, 2 bedrooms, better neighborhood, closer to work. Nicholas offered to buy her something. She refused. This was her choice, her money, her independence. She'd accept his help with legal fees, with protection, but not with housing. That felt too much, like being owned, like owing something. One Saturday in August, Carolyn took Hope to Central Park, same park where she'd met Grace 6 months ago, when labor was starting, when everything was about to change. Full circle. Grace was there, pushing Hope in a baby swing, making her laugh, that baby laugh that sounds like pure joy. Margaret was there, setting up a picnic. Nicholas was there, learning to be present, consistently, building relationship. One afternoon at a time, Rick came too, brought his girlfriend, serious girlfriend, might be proposing soon, family growing, expanding, including. They spread blankets on the grass, ate Margaret's food, played with Hope, watched people pass, tourists, locals, street performers, the city in motion, life happening all around them. Caroline's phone buzzed. Unknown number, she almost ignored it, but something made her answer. Hello? Ms. Matthews, this is Jennifer Rodriguez from the Modern Art Museum. We're opening a second location, Los Angeles. We're looking for a founding director. Your name came up. Are you interested in discussing the position? Carolyn's heart jumped. Los Angeles, new location, founding director, even bigger opportunity, even more responsibility, even more success. I'm interested in hearing more. Excellent. Can you come to LA next month, September 15th? We're having a reception. Meet the board, tour the space, discuss vision. I'll be there. She hung up, looked at her family, her chosen family, her complicated family, her real family. That was a job offer. Los Angeles, founding director, new museum. Grace's eyes went wide. Are you going to take it? I don't know. It's an incredible opportunity, but it's Los Angeles, across the country, away from you, from mom, From everyone. Nicholas spoke quietly. Sometimes opportunities require sacrifice. Moving, leaving, starting over. I know about that. I chose the company over family. It gave me billions. Cost me everything that mattered. But you're not me. You can have both. Success and family. They're not mutually exclusive. Not anymore. How? Because we'll visit. I have a plane. Margaret can travel. Grace has vacation time. And hope. Hope can grow up experiencing different cities, different cultures, different worlds. That's a gift, not a loss. Carolyn looked at Hope, 6 months old, whole life ahead of her, unlimited potential, unlimited possibilities. She could stay in New York, safe, comfortable, known, or she could take the risk, try something new, build something bigger. I'll consider it, talk to them, see what they're offering, but I'm not making promises. No one's asking for promises, just consideration, just possibility. Margaret touched Caroline's hand. Baby, whatever you choose, whatever you decide, I'm proud of you. You survived the worst, built something beautiful, raised your daughter, succeeded professionally. You did that, no one else. You. Caroline felt tears coming, happy tears, grateful tears. Thank you for everything, for believing in me, for supporting me, for being the mother you are, always. That's what mothers do. We show up, we believe, we support, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. They sat in comfortable silence, watching hope play, watching the city move around them, existing in this moment, this perfect, imperfect moment. Across the park, Carolyn saw a familiar figure, Vincent, walking alone, thinner than before, haunted. He saw them, this family he'd abandoned, this daughter he'd never know. He stopped, stared. His face showed regret, loss, understanding of what he'd thrown away. Their eyes met. Caroline didn't wave, didn't acknowledge him, just held Hope closer, turned toward her family, toward her future, toward everything that mattered. Vincent stood there for a long moment, then walked away, disappeared into the crowd. Gone. The way he'd always been, present but absent, there but not really. A ghost of what could have been, what he'd chosen not to be. Was that him? Nicholas asked quietly. Doesn't matter. He made his choice. We made ours. No regrets? Carolyn looked at Hope, at this perfect, tiny person, at her mother laughing with grace, at Nicholas trying so hard, at Rick texting work stuff even on weekends, at her life, hard-won, self-made, real. No regrets, none. Everything that happened, every betrayal, every lewaimo, every moment of pain, it led me here, to this family, this life, this moment, and I wouldn't change any of it. They packed up, eventually, headed home, the apartment that was too small, that Carolyn had chosen, that she'd earned. That was hers. That night, after Hope was asleep, Carolyn stood by the window, looking at the city, thinking about Los Angeles, about opportunities, about possibilities, about what came next. Her phone showed a message from Vincent, his fourth attempt to reach out in 6 months. I saw you today. Hope is beautiful. I made a mistake, a terrible mistake. Can we talk, please? Caroline deleted it. Some conversations weren't worth having. Some mistakes couldn't be unmade. Vincent had shown her exactly who he was, repeatedly, consistently. She believed him, and she'd moved on. She looked at Hope's crib, at her daughter sleeping peacefully, tiny fists curled, breathing steady. Perfect, whole, complete, everything. I'm going to tell you the truth, Carolyn whispered. About everything, your father, your grandfather, all of it. The messy, complicated truth, no fairy tales, no pretty lies, just reality. Because you deserve to know your story, the real version. And maybe you'll understand. That family isn't perfect, that people make mistakes, that showing up matters more than never failing. That love is action, not words. That we're all just doing our best, and sometimes our best is enough. Hope slept on, peaceful, unaware, innocent, the way babies are, the way everyone starts. before the world complicates everything. Caroline's phone buzzed one final time. Text from Nicholas. Thank you for today, for hope, for the second chance I don't deserve, but I'm grateful for anyway. You're an incredible mother, an incredible woman. I'm proud to be your father, even if I don't deserve that title yet. She texted back. You're here now. That's what matters. Keep showing up. That's all I ask. Every day, I promise, every single day. Carolyn believed him, not because he had earned it in the past, but because he'd proven it in the present. Day after day, week after week, month after month, showing up, being present, trying, learning, growing, becoming the father he should have been, could have been, was learning to be, and maybe that was enough. Not perfect, not ideal, but enough. She looked out at the city one more time, at the lights, at the endless possibility, at the future stretching ahead. Unknown, uncertain, exciting. Her old life was gone. The millionaire husband, the penthouse, the fairy tale that was never real, but this life, this real, complicated, messy, beautiful life, this was hers. Hard-won, self-made, authentic, true. She'd been destroyed on Christmas Day, left homeless, pregnant, abandoned, and from those ashes, from that complete destruction, she'd built something better, stronger, real. Sometimes you have to lose everything to find what matters. Sometimes the worst day of your life leads to the best version of yourself. Sometimes Santa really is your billionaire father in disguise. And sometimes that's exactly what you need. Caroline smiled, touched the window, left a handprint on the glass, evidence she'd been here in this moment, this perfect, imperfect moment. Merry Christmas, Caroline Matthews, she whispered to her reflection. 8 months late, but Merry Christmas anyway. You survived, you thrived, you won. Outside, the city glowed. Inside, hope slept. And Caroline was finally, completely, undeniably, home. And that's how Caroline's story ended, or maybe how it really began. From divorce papers on Christmas morning, to a daughter named Hope, to a career she'd earned, to a family she'd found. Sometimes losing everything is exactly what you need to discover what really matters. Now, if this story resonated with you, if you've ever felt abandoned, betrayed, discarded, or if you just love watching karma work its magic in real time, do me a favor, hit that like button. Let me know this story touched you. Drop a comment. Tell me, what would you have done in Caroline's situation? Would you have forgiven Nicholas, accepted Vincent back, or done exactly what she did? Share this story with someone who needs to hear it, someone going through their own Christmas morning moment, someone who needs to know that survival is possible, that starting over is possible, that sometimes the worst betrayal leads to the best transformation. And if you're new here, welcome, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, because I share stories like this every week. Real drama, real emotions, real people overcoming impossible situations. These stories matter. Your engagement matters. It tells me to keep sharing. Keep finding these incredible journeys. Keep reminding people that they're not alone. So, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's build a community of survivors, of fighters, of people who refuse to be called dead weight, who know their worth, who understand that sometimes losing everything is exactly how you find yourself. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And remember, you're not dead weight. You never were. You're a fighter, just like Caroline, just like Hope, just like everyone who's ever had to start over. See you in the next story. Until then, stay strong, stay worthy, and never let anyone make you feel less than the incredible person you are.